Welcome back. This is the Law of Precision, the second installment to the WristClocks series. This video is going to be chapter 7 and chapter 8. If you haven't read the full, or at least you haven't heard, to be exact, if you haven't heard the first book, that is linked in the description below. Let's continue. Chapter 7. The minute that shouldn't be. He stood near the silo where the child's body had been found. There's no elegance here, no symmetry, no balance. The wrist was jagged, a hack job. The second hand barely marked, cut like shallow with a tremble, not a choice. Worse, the location was filthy. It reeked of chaos, rusted tools, scattered trash, animal droppings, a place abandoned even by silence. He stood in the silence, eyes closed, letting ambient noise bleed away till he could hear only his breathing and time. The master never spoke in words. He spoke in the absence. He took from his coat a single white glove and placed it on the ground, 5 feet where the child had been laid. A sign not for others, but for him, a vow. He whispered like a prayer, "This is not your work. This is not one of us. I will find the fraud." In the law's words, the pretender was false metal. He was rust. When he turned, coat folding like a blade behind him, and walked away without another glance. Marcus tapped the dry erase board with the butt of his marker as he spoke. 4 victims, all male, no parent connection, but Brant flipped through the ME's notes. They were all listed in a minor civil case from 2013. Lead paint poisoning. Settled quietly. They testified for the defense. Marcus frowned. So they helped the company dodge liability? Brant nodded. And now they're all dead. Time theft, Marcus muttered. Brant's head turned. What? Nothing, Marcus said, shaking his head. It's just someone thinks they didn't pay for what they took. Brant leaned back. Retribution? No, that's emotional. This feels mechanical. Brant didn't respond, but the phrase time theft clung to him like something he'd once believed or feared. Marcus circled the name on the board. Amelia Carr, former zoning commissioner in the lead paste case. Still alive? Brant asked. For now. He watched his teacher from the back of the classroom. Her shoes made 4 distinct sounds each time she walked across the tile. Tap, scrape, pause, tap. She wasted 6 seconds every time she left her desk and came back. He had counted. The journal said, "Those who waste time invite correction," but he wasn't ready. Not yet. He didn't know enough, but he wanted to know. He had started drawing his own clocks, different designs, some with extra hands, some with no numbers at all. He traced them under his desk with his finger. Whenever someone annoyed him, he would never tell anyone what the notebook said on the last page. You don't always need the blade. You only need to listen long enough. Time will show you who to carve. He had underlined the carving, and in the corner, drawn a small pendulum. Between chimes, the blade waited. They carve the hour, but not the meaning. They mimic, but without purpose. I feel their ticks like flaws in the gear, grit in the wheels. Ellis bled her own seconds and called it worship. This new one, this child killer, he doesn't even understand the pendulum. He is false metal. He is rust. I am not dead. I am between the seconds, between the chimes, and the ones who hear me. They are my gears turning. Michael listens. The child waits. Detectives knock, but do not hear the chime. They will. Ginger ale, sorry. He tracked the pretender to a blog, sloppy, buried in tags and half-spoken poetry. Michael scrolled through a post that had caught his eye. Time bleeds for all. I just opened the vein. Michael stared at it, then took out his pen and underlined it. Noise, not law. Further down, there's no master clock, only decay. The ticks are just death waiting, and death getting louder. Michael circled the sentence, wrote beneath it, rot. No order, no chime. He wrote a second note, time theft disguised as worship. He flipped to the back of his notebook, where a short list lived. Only names, the unworthy, the corrupt. He added a sixth. Unlearned, pretender, will be reset. He shut the book. The rhythm was broken. He would leave it on. And the voice online was louder now. Not just whispers or podcasts. It had bled into culture. Clock watchers. The YouTube dramatizations, even satire. Comments weren't about who's dying, but who should. The knock came just as Marcus was closing the files. An envelope, no return address, inside a photo. It was a fifth victim. Post again, new location, but there was something different. A clock, not carved, but a physical clock. Old, shattered, hands stuck at 2:06. On the back, you're still looking at the wrong seconds. Marcus stared. For the first time in weeks, he felt something behind his ribs. Not fear, something colder, something that ticked. Hands were stuck at 2:06. A broken gear in plain sight. Tick, tock. Chapter 8. The Boy Who Listens. Michael stood in the soft fog of the Bay Area morning. Just outside the yellow tape, the house sagged slightly to the left, as if listening to one side of a secret for too long. The body was gone, but the carving remained. 1:06 a.m. 2:06 a.m. Again. He traced the scene with his eyes. Sidewalk, curb, porch, flower bed, trampled by first responders. Nobody looked twice at him. Just another man in a jacket. But his mind was already sorting the flaws. Posture flaws. Number 1, repetition without understanding. Each true mark is unique. Gear carved for that single soul's stolen seconds. Precision is not a pattern, it is a language. He adjusted the cuffs on his coat and walked away. The master always revealed false gears and rust in time. Mrs. Keenan was 2 minutes late. Her fingers trembled as they unlocked the classroom door. Yesterday, no trimmer. Last week, strong voice. Today, red-rimmed eyes, coffee spilled on her blouse. He wondered if she was running out of time. During spelling, he pressed the mechanical pencil to his wrist. Not carving, just pressure, just to imagine. At night, he traced the same circle until the paper tore. Then he redrew it, this time with symbols instead of numbers. A clock only he could read. His father, a former police officer, never noticed. Too busy with cable news reruns, drunk by 7. His mother rarely came home. Once during a blackout, his father whispered, "We did what we had to. Nobody died. Nobody then." The boy remembered that, and he wrote, "Then." That night, the attic creaked. Maybe the wind. But he froze. A moment ago, there had been ticking. Steady, confident, like someone winding a key behind the wall. "She's gone," Brant said. Just like that. Amelia Carr doesn't just vanish, LeClaire muttered, staring at the grainy CCTV still. Amelia entering her apartment 3 nights ago, not seen since. Mail stacked, toothbrush still wet, computer wiped clean. Clara pulled out a manila envelope, anonymous, inside a single page. She's not a gear. She'll only file the plans. Below it, a bent clock, drawn in ink. Someone thinks she was never part of the mechanism, Claire said. But now she's missing, Brent had replied. Worse, Claire said. She might have known who filed the original blueprint. He flipped open a small folder that was recovered from her home office. Inside, a single sticky note, faded yellow, time-stamped. 2:01 a.m., scrawled in blue ink. Found page 12 again, same handwriting. Claire stared at it. She knew something was coming. Brant didn't reply, but his eyes lingered on the handwriting. Something about the loop and the D, precise, familiar, like a signature without a name. He wiped the blade against his shirt. The woman's wrist had split wrong. Too much pressure. He panicked. She screamed. That wasn't supposed to happen. The others had gone quiet. The men. But she had cried. Said her name over and over as if it mattered. He replayed the moment in his head over and over, trying to memorize it, trying to erase it. He placed her hand against the broken clock and whispered, Your time was taken. I give it back to you to control. But he didn't believe it anymore. He started with purpose, or so he thought. Now everything was just noise, scratches, not carvings. He wondered if the man in the long coat was real, the one who had stared at him from across the street. just once, then vanished. He'd never seen him again, but he felt something watching him. He struck again at 2:06. Again. But her time was not 2:06. She was meant not for that moment. He assigns hours like numbers on a form. He counts, but he doesn't keep time. The imposter is not only a threat. A boy draws clocks with no instruction. A woman vanishes into the gap between seconds. Gears begin to turn faster than they should. He closed the notebook. Some clocks you watch, others you wind, and some you stop.